Hello everyone, this is Tyler here. It is November 6th, and I want to talk about why I think the military has some really good traits that are very applicable and relate well to MGTOW guys. And when I talk about military, I think I should reference more to the historical U.S. military up until the 90s. Guys that were, say, in the U.S. Marine Corps, Navy, Army, any of these branches. But I have heard about some recent problems with the current military, but I do think until recently many of the values and core tenets that were enforced by the U.S. military were very admirable. And I think they apply to anyone in life. There's lessons here that can be applied for anyone. I think especially for us MGTOW guys. These are core tenets that all of us can live by. Now, the first thing I think that military emphasizes is having a backup plan, having redundancy. This is key, obviously, when you're going into battle. You can't obviously go into battle and have your rifle jam up and then not have a backup weapon or have a way to quickly fix this problem. You, of course, need to fix the problem with the rifle. If you have any other weapon problems, of course, you need to have a way to fix this issue. And this is redundancy here. If you have gear problems, you of course either need to be able to fix them or you need a second set of equipment to get through this. Now, the second thing I think is consistency. Consistency is so key, honestly, with being successful in life. And as I get older, I understand this trait better and better. I think if one produces pretty well, but they're consistent over a long course of time, they're going to be much more successful than a guy who is inconsistent but produces incredible work. Because unfortunately, how life often works in many facets of life, this lack of constant consistency is a problem. And also, people typically have more faith in consistency. So this is why you need to learn to be this way. And this is obviously something that the U.S. military heavily reinforces and really pushes with guys to accept and to embrace, because this is also what enables them to be successful in battle, to win battles, and just to be respected. It is this sense of consistency and understanding that they always have to live this way. The next tenet is not to expose your weaknesses. This is something that many people obviously don't understand, especially nowadays. We, of course, have read about Napoleon Bonaparte and other famous generals, and this was something that was so critical that ensured that these guys won in battle and combat. Because when you started exposing and over-revealing your weaknesses or weak points, it makes you vulnerable, and it opens up other issues, of course. You can't let the enemy, or most people for that matter, know these weaknesses or weak points, and this is why you have to not expose them. Military understands this to the core. This is why intelligence is so important in the military, and this is why they also believe confidentiality is also very important. They can't expose their weak points, their weaknesses. This is also very applicable for MGTOW guys, and I think this is something many MGTOW guys also do apply in their day-to-day life. The next area, being able to work as a team. Of course, in the military, they have squads, platoons, battalions, companies. It's the same thing, obviously, and for us MGTOW guys, that we need to be like a team, but I think it's more like a special force team where we're small, nimble, but very powerful, very potent. And I think this lesson is so important. Unfortunately, it's challenging because many people, of course, don't accept and embrace MGTOW philosophy. But for guys who are like this, they should really be able to find a team, a platoon of guys like special force soldiers that they can rely upon, that they can go to combat with, and they can fight for this philosophy. And this, I think, is something that the military understands. Strength in numbers. This is key here. It's easier, it's often better if you have some guys fighting together. You'll more likely be successful, and guys can contribute different areas, different traits. People have different skill sets that they can contribute to ensuring that the team is successful. One other core area is physical fitness. fitness is key actually for anyone, but I think for us guys it's really important. And this of course also translates to emotional and mental fitness, because I think if you feel physically better, you'll emotionally often feel better. These often go hand in hand, and you'll feel stronger. You need to be strong, especially as a MGTOW guy. It's really important too for your day-to-day life. You'll be more productive. And of course, in the military, physical fitness has always been very emphasized and encouraged. Obviously, soldiers have to be very fit and ready to go into combat. And it's the same with guys who are MGTOW guys. We have to be fit and ready to move at a moment's notice. The next area is know the enemy. Knowing the enemy, of course, is something that the military, from the very beginning, when you read The Art of War by Sun Tzu, Chinese author, it's something that these military units and legions and armies had to learn from the beginning. They had to understand who their enemy was and what it took to defeat them. And likewise, as MGTOW guys, we have to be the same way. Now, I understand that often being MGTOW means that you're not going to engage with the enemy, but there may be times where unintentionally you do have to defend yourself, and you should know the enemy. And also, wolves can hide in sheep's clothing. There's a quote on this. And you may encounter someone that seems like your friend, but is actually foe. So you need to understand someone that's hiding behind a cloak, so this person doesn't end up becoming a major problem. And this is why you have to know the enemy. And so as a MGTOW guy, know that enemy. This is what soldiers in war have to understand. Special forces, of course, are very well trained at being able to figure out who the enemy is. Navy SEALs, Green Berets, these guys are trained to the T how to understand this and how to apply it into combat. And the last one is simply having a vision, having a purpose behind what you're doing. You can't just do something with no empty reason, no purpose. If you're like this, you'll probably just be a bum on the beach. You have to have a purpose behind your life. The military, of course, has a purpose. They have objectives when they go into battle, and as a guy, you have to be the same way. Have a purpose. Look at each day, each week as something that you're trying to accomplish, and a mission that you're trying to accomplish, or it could be a puzzle that you're trying to solve. This is, I think, really critical in life. So these are some traits here that military, of course, utilizes day in and day out, whether we're looking at the Navy, Marine Corps, Army, and I think these areas, of course, can be very useful for our MGTOW guys. So give me your feedback below, and thank you.